Sponsored by LearnGD.com. Learn graphics and digital video design online.
Yeah, I remember I was at soccer practice because I used to play soccer. Somebody went to tell me, hey, Rosa's having the baby, she's in labor. Oh man, I ran out of there. We were at Whittier Narrows Park and picked her up. She was already at the Beverly Hospital. Yeah, she was already in labor when I walked in, and I walked in, barely walked into the room and, took care of business. And when he came out, oh, my mijo, man, I go, let me have him, let me hold him, and it was a blessing. He was my first boy. Oh man, it was everything. I always wanted a boy, and a boy with the name of Danny. So when Danny was born, it was everything for us, for the familia. I mean, everybody had Danny right here, or Danny had everybody right here. You know what I mean? And up to this day, he's still a chiquiado. He still gets everything, but that's my boy. Yeah, it was very exciting. We were happy. Danny was a handful. So when he was a kid, he was a baby. So it was nice. It was, I love my mijo. Danny, I think Danny was, growing up elementary school, even in daycare center, Danny always wanted to be the center of attention. He goes, aquí yo soy el chingón, and that's how it is. And sure enough, you always wanted, to be the leader. And all through growing up, Danny was always a leader. He never followed nobody, they followed him. He got that from his dad, I think. So, no. Danny was like a normal boy. He was into He-Man. That was his first character. I remember, never gonna forget, his abuelita, Hela, bought him a sword and his outfit. Hey, I'm He-Man, and all day con the sword rocking around, swinging his little brothers, I mean, yeah, so that was his first superhero, He-Man. But Danny growing up, he's like a normal kid, wanted everything, played around. Danny was good. He was a good kid. What kids hacen travesuras, hey, they're normal kids. When he first started talking and everything, Rosa, I remember Rosa would always say, Danny, go ask your father, or go tell your father this. So Danny would come, thinking, hey, Dad, Father, could I have this? Father, could I have that? I mean, it was just, we were used to that. Either, Dad or Papi or, Father, and, it was cute. It was, so that's what, that was one of Danny's originals. When I was at home, we were still living together, because, when I got separated from his mom, I think Danny was in middle school, ready to get into middle school, And Danny was always the example. You know what I mean? We had to show, the little brothers, if you do wrong, this is what's going to happen. I mean, not that we treated him wrong, don't get me wrong, but, oh yeah, being the oldest, you have a lot of pressure, you take a lot of heat, you know what I mean? So, and being the oldest, you expected the oldest to do the right, but as parents, it's our job to teach them how to do the right thing, Not that it always works, but You know what? At times I was rough with him because it was the oldest, so I expected him to do everything right. I mean, I never, got down and beat him like, back my dad beat me. No, but come on, and don't do that, I mean, but as a father, I try to do the best to raise them the right way. Their mom did a great job, I mean, I ain't gonna knock that, because they are where they are because of her, and I had them on, how can I say, the recreation time that was when I came in, because I would always play around with them, and, they would spend their summers with me, because, hey, let's go with Dad, that's crazy, we could be there all night, and, having a good time. I mean, I went to work, they went to work with me, when I was working for a shipping company, or supply, they would go to work with me on Saturdays, on Fridays, and, they're always with me. Danny, being a father, and up to this point, Danny never disrespected me or my father. Danny never talked back. Danny was very respectful, very. And he still is to this day. He'll listen to me and goes, okay, Dad. He don't want to hear it. It probably goes in one ear, comes out the other, but not like he'll say, vete la chingada. No, never like that. Like some kids. And Danny's very respectful. And I thank God for that, you know. I mean, that's my mijo. Danny and all the rest of his brothers, they're all good. You know, it's not like eran unos traviesos. They were kids, like I said before. Kids did what kids did. But, you know, we told them, I would say, hey, don't do this. My dad would tell them, you know, because I used to take care of my father. And, no, you know, they listen, you know. I mean, but Danny wasn't, how could I say it? They were good kids, you know. They were good kids, you know. And I had fun growing up with, I had fun while they grew up with me. You know, the times that they spent with me, the Christmas when they spent with me, when I would hike their bikes across the street at my tia's house and bring them over. And Danny, I got to tell you, Danny was such a snake. Before he got the bikes, he already knew they were getting bikes. He went to my tia's because we stashed them in the sala in the corner, and he already knew he was getting a bike. That's how Danny was. Danny already knew. He just had a way of finding out things, you know, and ay, cabrón, you know. that's Danny, you know. So I'm never going to forget all that. You know, if I could turn the time back, I mean, I'd do it again and raise my kids again. I mean, it was the most precious thing that you could do, you know. And even, you know, when I had my problems with his mom, I would still be there, started coaching my kids. You know, to be there, I couldn't be without my kids, you know. And Daddy, he followed me all over. Wherever, you know, he was part of me. You know, a lot of his is through me, what I got through my dad, the generations, you know. So what my dad taught me, I taught Danny, and Danny will teach his kids, you know, his girls, you know. So that's the way we are.
I grew up in, my mom and dad got divorced when I was about 4 years old, going on 5. My dad went to East LA to my grandpa's house, and my mom stood in Montebello. And that was pretty much, they never got back together, nothing like that, you know? Because my dad was on drugs, and I was a young kid growing up, having to witness all that. And I used to go with him. They used to do the 2-week thing, but it was 4 boys, me and my 3 brothers. Me and my brother Adrian, my brother Joseph, and Christian. Joseph rested in peace now. Long story short, the twins, Joseph and Christian, they wanted to stay with my mom more. They wouldn't really want to kick it at my dad's as much as me and my brother Adrian would, because pretty much at my dad's, it was do whatever you want. Lizards, do all kinds of crazy that little kids want to be doing that are, you know, that mothers wouldn't really allow their kids to do. My dad wouldn't really be witnessing, we would be doing it pretty much behind his back.
Yeah, when it was going to junior high, you know, that's when I saw, you know, because it was lack of, you know, we weren't always there. You know, I wasn't there 24/7. You know, her mom, you know, while she was working and she had to do her thing. And, you know, little by little, he just started, you know, not getting into trouble, not getting into problems, but, you know, you could see that he was already, let me go this highway instead of this way, you know. And you know, me as a parent, and I'm sure his mom, you know, we try to do everything to correct him. I remember his mom would give him, you know, she'd call my cousins that were, back then, they were regular patrol officers. One was CHP, LAPD, my cousin Rick, and then his Nino, he was a sheriff. And my cousin Rick, LAPD, he would come and pick him up, take him on car rides, you know, try to see if you get in trouble, this is what's going to happen. Pero Danny, que le valía madre, you know? That's my mijo, you know? And, you know, and so, you know, I mean, you try to guide them, but, you know, there's some, like they say, things happen, you know? So, I mean, like I said, you know, hey, he's not a bad kid, you know, hey. I mean, we all did our thing. You know, I grew up the same way. You know, I never was in gang, because back then, your parents were able to beat the shit out of you. So my dad got out with la pinche chancla on the stick, and órale, cabrón. The first time I put on my khakis, going to Belvedere, combed my hair back, came home with a Pendleton that I bought at Al's Army and Navy right there on Huerta Boulevard. I was like, chingon. I get home, my dad grabbed the thing and ripped it all apart and beat the shit out of me. Ahorita te voy a quitar los pachucos a chingadazos, digo, so, you know, back then it was legal, and I never did that to my kids, because I remember what my dad did to me, and then, you know, I go, you know, I remember when he used to beat the shit out of me, and it wasn't a happy story, so I don't want those memories for my kids. That's why I started coaching them in sports at the YMCA, and yeah, so we, that are the, you know, I coached all my kids. to have him next to me and let him play sports. And that was I think that helped him out a lot. I mean, not only him, but everybody, my other sons, and we got closer too. Because how, I mean, once you get divorced, it's every other weekend. I needed my kids every day. I couldn't be without my kids, so that's why I took coaching, and we got tighter, and yeah, it was good. I remember, oh yeah, because see, when Danny was going into becoming a freshman in high school, I was living in Pico Rivera, so his mom goes, you know what, you take him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, give him to me, yo me lo llevo. And I signed him up to our rancho, okay? So I would, either me or Monica would take him to school, and we dropped him off. He was going to play on the freshman team and everything, had us clean. And I tell you, Danny was sneaky. We would drop him off, in the front, so then, and he walked into school. But I don't know if you ever been to our rancho. Okay, there's an alley from the front, and it ends up in the back, in the residential area. So he keep walking, and go, oh, let me keep walking. And, me think, and then after school, he'll come out to the front. I go, all right, mijo's going to school. Then so I started getting a call from the dean. I go, que la chingada, here we go again. So, that, so then we put him into, and then we put him to Salazar, across the street with continuation. He was doing good there, and that's when he met Mimi, who was, and she was a cutie, because I remember when I took Danny to sign him up, and she walked in, and, Danny was already eyeballing her, and, Danny got whatever he wants, he got it. I mean, I got to give him credit on that, man. He had luck. And that's when they had the first baby, Jasmine, with Mimi. We were living in Pico, and, well, yeah, what are you going to do? Things happen, once things happen, and you can't change it. But back to the question you asked me, do I remember the call? Yeah, I remember the call when the dean called me. He goes, Mr. Barajas. I go, yes. And he goes, yeah, well, Danny hasn't been coming to school. What do you mean? I've been taking him every morning. Well, he hasn't been showing up for class. And that's how I found out.
But Danny did touch on you drinking a lot, abuse.
Yeah, I went.
Again, I don't know if you don't want to talk about it.
No, that's
if you don't, I'll cut it out. Like
no,
when he
you know what? I'm not ashamed. I went through when I went through my divorce. I really pounded the I'm not the the beat and everything, and started doing stuff, and I'll be honest, I hit it hard for a good 10 years, and it didn't get me nowhere, you know what I mean? But that was my way out of misery and stuff. Pero que misery is just puro pedo, just to get high, But I went through a phase. I'm not gonna say I didn't, and yeah, I'm ashamed. But you know what? Hey, what can I say? Look at me now. I'm not that guy anymore, But I never lost a job because of that. I always had my job. What I did after work, that's a different story. But I did what I did. I have my history, and that was back then, and
And when you look at Danny now, like with him with.
Louis, yeah, no, I know where you're going at. No, Louis, I know where you're going at. Louis, I'm going to tell you something, Yes, it bothers me, but then at the same time, like, what example did I show him when I was going through all that? Because that's when he would be hanging out with me, when so he saw it, I mean, he didn't see me, getting all, I mean, but you know what I'm saying, and he was, he didn't see me doing during the rest. No, I'm not saying nothing like that. I didn't do stuff in front of him, but he was with me, So I mean, I can't blame him in that aspect. I mean, hey, nobody's perfect, I mean, it's like Danny, he gets out of control, nothing like that, I mean, hey, there's no when to say when, bottom line, and I blame myself for that. But what am I going to do, sorry, I up, and that's the only thing that I wish I could go back, you know what I mean, and we do again. So I would, pero, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, yeah, it's it's embarrassing. I feel ashamed to talk about it, pero hey, it happened. I did it. What am I gonna do? I mean, hacerme pendejo. Oh no, I've been clean. I never did this. Everybody's done something in their life. Don't give me that. I mean, so, pero you live and learn, Louis. You know what I mean? But like I said, to Danny, hey, you know, I mean, Danny does his thing, you know? And, you know, I mean, hey, is that, who's he hurting? Not hurting nobody. I mean, himself, his body. Hey, I eat a lot of candy. I mean, I drink a lot of soda. I ain't supposed to do that because of, you know, my heart and all that. Pero hey, me vale madre, you know, so. But, you know, that's just life, man. That's just the way life is, you know, so. But, yeah, you know, I mean, I wish he wouldn't do it, pero hey, you know, that's, you wish a lot of things on your kids that they won't do, you know. And the more you tell them no, no, the more they do it, you know, just one of those things. So, pero yeah, I take blame on that.
Yeah, that stupid that.
By the time you come back, me and you will have a place ready. Probably gonna get it this week.
Feed man. That's
Sweet
good.
ass spot.
But the good thing is I know you're my and you always.
I'm not saying that, I'm just telling you, dick.
Oh no, I know. Gracias, shit. I appreciate that shit. Anyways, I'm not looking. I'm glad that you told me that open.
Oh, okay. No problem. What are we doing right here?
You guys can move out.
Well, thanks.
But I was gonna move him in.
I had you guys solo, man. Let me have them solo. So.
This is mine now.
Yeah, me solo.
Yeah, Burger King.
We recorded?